Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's Danny Limelight. And I need all of you to subscribe to According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and all other platforms.
What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and I have the honor and privilege of talking to my sister. She is the host of Island Block Radio's Everyone Loves Lulu. And yes, everybody does love Lulu. It's Myz Lulu. Lulu, what's going on?
Hey, what is going
And she froze. Oh, this is so great. This is so great. Yeah, this is what happens in the live deal here. But yeah, that's Myz Lulu, and she is probably more of a, I don't want, yeah, she might be a better podcaster than I am, a better host than I am. That's a very, very shit way to encourage you to watch, like, and subscribe to my podcast. But yes, I kind of tell the truth. But it seems like we're having a little bit of technical difficulties because Lulu is literally black, which she isn't, I don't think. But yeah, man. How are you guys today? It is a wonderful Tuesday evening, wherever you are, or midday. It's midday. It's 12 o'clock Pacific Standard, and it should be probably 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and then an hour before it, 4:13-ish on Central Time. But yeah, we're gonna wait for Lulu to jump back in on it. But yeah, man, I think at this time, while we're waiting for her to connect, I like playing. I like making fun. I like punching up, right? Where, you know, people that have more, you're like, haha, I'm gonna make fun of you. So I don't know if you guys remember Nate Robinson, who fought and got knocked out by one of the Paul brothers and what have you. Well, there was a bunch of memes that came out after he got KO'd. And with that all being said, I'm gonna play you a little compilation of the memes that came out. So here you go. Oh, that worked out. Oh, nice compilation of Nate Robinson getting knocked down. I'm not sure where Lulu is. I know we had a little bit of difficulty logging her on to the devices that she was using. So we patiently await for her to come back in. But I guess this is open season. So if you guys are watching and want to chime in on the comments, have comments, questions, concerns, and what have you, let's do that. I mean, what is on your mind? What is on your soul to bear? Fernando Liepe says, "What's up, my brother? What's good, Fernando? Hope you are well. Seeing you're getting some training of the Lucha Libre sort, getting done. Shout out to you and your crew doing that. Yeah, not not too sure where Lulu went. It's all weird. So again, we're gonna play some more Nate Robinson meme stuff. Oh wait, no, because seems like, hopefully, she's back.
Oh my God. Ah. Can you hear me? See me?
Yeah, we can see you. You're not John Cena. We can see you.
Oh, thank the Lord.
Yes.
Holy cow. I love
Hi.
live. I live for this.
Yeah,
Hello, I'm
same.
Myz Lulu.
Hey, Miss Lulu, from Island Block Radios.
Yes.
Is it the highest rated show on Island Block Radio? I want to believe. And if it isn't,
Yes.
don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. That's a damn good story.
It absolutely is, because it's the only show on Island Block Network, so it totally is. I mean,
There you go.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Fernando Lipe says, will you be there at Fight Club OC August 26th? That is a possibility, especially if somebody gives me credentials. So that might be a possibility, and I'm not John Cena. That's 10 points. I am not. Spoiler alert, I'm not John Cena. Isn't that crazy, Lou? I'm not John Cena. Are you John Cena? Nope, but it looks like she's like Elsa from, the Disney movie, because she's frozen.
Hello.
There you go. I heard something.
I was like,
Yes,
yeah, hello. Oh
yes,
my
you're great. You're
God.
great. So, I mean, you as I mean, yes, you're a podcast. You're a personality, but I mean, there's something that most people don't know about you. You posted about it when they had the whole. Oh my gosh, it's me and my face again. You guys like looking at my face. I might not like looking at my face. So I'm going to share one more compilation of Nate Robinson's memes, and hopefully, the interwebs will work itself out. So here we go. Yeah. So that's Nate Robinson memes that I had preloaded uh, from another time. It's yeah, I think that was earlier this year where one of the Paul brothers beat the shit out of Nate Robinson, and hashtag never forget, because something of that indoctrination should always be remembered in infamy. It's so bad. Um, so yes, love it. I'm glad you love it. That's tremendous. It's absolutely awesome. Speaking of love, everybody loves Lulu, and she's back. But
I'm trying to be back. I
yes,
have no idea.
no, it seems like you're back. You're back. So I'm just gonna start asking you questions. So, how did you get involved in podcasting, interviewing, and stuff of that nature?
I kind of fell into it, actually. It started off with a singing competition, believe it or not. Yes. So me and my brother entered this Pacific Islander singing competition, and I think you can still actually see the videos online somewhere. I know.
Oh,
I
I'm gonna
haven't
go
seen it
down
in
a
a long
wormhole.
time.
Going down a wormhole. Yes.
Yeah. So, got that. We did the competition, and then we actually went on. At the time, it was called the barbecue show. So before Island Block, they were just the barbecue show. Yeah. And so we were interviewed by Joe Sab and Q, and they were actually looking for a female counterpart. So as we were doing the interview, right after we did the interview for the singing competition, they had asked like, "Hey, have you ever thought about radio?" And I said, "No, I had never thought about radio," because I was actually pursuing a career more in performing arts, as in acting. So I was a stage actor, the theater, and scene.
But that happens in LA?
I know.
What?
What? You come to Southern California, Hollywood, to pursue engineering. That's
Yeah, that's it. Quantum physics is what I was going with, but yeah, I guess engineering as well.
to play a doctor on TV, not to actually be a doctor, you know?
Are you Miss McDreamy? Is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Well, thank you. Yeah, not to be mistaken with McNasty, because that happens, after 10 p.m.
Yes, this isn't your mama's podcast, my goodness.
No.
But also,
It might actually be your mama's podcast.
Yeah, because I mean, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't our mama's podcast.
Exactly.
There you go. No, so I mean, it's funny because you were going down a different route in the sense that, in acting, right? You're basically the muse to somebody else's work and writings and what have you.
Oh, I love it put that way. Yeah.
Right. But
that does sound about right. Yeah.
It's
I like being known
something.
as a muse.
Yeah, there you go. And then you go radio, which is like, at times, depending on one facet, like it's funny because I was actually going to radio school in Orange County right behind the BJ's on Beach and Edinger in Huntington Beach.
Okay,
Yes.
I see you.
Yeah, but you're kind of acting of a different way. Yeah, especially what we see in media, I guess mainstream media today, where it's just like people are acting like they're concerned, but it's not.
But
really,
they're not. I love
Yeah.
that. They're acting like they're concerned. Like, what's my concerned face look like? What does yours look like, Mr. Woods? So pretty close to constipation.
Pretty
I
much.
see.
That's what I do.
Same.
Yes, absolutely. Constipation, indoctrination, all the things of that sort. No, but so, I mean, did you kind of like, no, because I wanted to do this thing. I'm not sure this thing, or did you kind of look at it as an opportunity?
I did look at it as an opportunity, mainly because I was trying to transition into film from a theater actor, and but my background is in communication, so I love people. One of my biggest things that, as I was trying to find my passion, which is Jesus, nobody tells you that it's actually quite hard, right? Like, to figure out what you're passionate about, and coming from a Pacific Islander house where passion, like, fuck passion, nobody talks about passion. Like, you need to pay them bills the minute you're of age, and sorry, excuse me, I have a guest. Welcome to my life.
Is he put to
He's
work?
my manager. My manager.
It's the senator rather than the momager.
Yes. Hey, son, I'm gonna need like an hour. Okay, can you give me that? No? Okay. Well, you're gonna have to figure it out. Play with some toys, please. I need to play with some toys. Okay. Parenting at its best. There you go. Best mom in the world.
Give him a yo-yo, and if he doesn't knock himself out, I think it worked out well.
I mean, I already gave him Benadryl. I don't know what the deal is, why he's still awake. I think it did the opposite effect.
I think that's a new sponsorship for Binky Teenies. If it doesn't knock the kid out, then you're not doing it right.
Then you're not doing it right. Yeah, but going back to what were we talking about? Oh yeah, broadcasting and radio and acting. Yeah, kind of like how I'm acting like I'm okay right now with all of that.
Okay, My Chemical Romance. Not okay, I promise. Okay.
I promise. Oh, okay. Let me just center myself. So yes, acting. I mean, I love people, and one of my biggest things was, I always remember as a kid, we didn't have movie theaters in Samoa, but we did have movies at, like, the video stores. Do anybody remember video stores? Blockbuster.
Hollywood Video?
Yes,
Yeah.
but in Samoa, we had the off brands, which is the mom and pop stores where they actually sell or rent out movies and theaters. Talofa Video was one that I can recall right now, which is in our language, Talofa means hello. And so I'd rent movies, and I remember that was the best thing ever, as far as to escape, right? Like our realities, and to really be whoever you wanted to be. And I wanted that for, especially when I came to the States and I was still trying to figure out what my calling was or what it is that I wanted to do. And I went into communications mainly as a safety net, but more so that, I mean, I could actually complete a sentence, which is still very rare right now.
I'm living proof.
So it just kind of fell in my lap to where I found out that my passion is people. I love people. I mean, all of their fucked up ways, all of their beautiful ways, all of their magical ways. I love all of it. I love to be that fly on the wall a lot of the time. And actually, if I'm invited into that world, into their world, I'm more than happy to consume all of it. And I had to take back to myself what is it that that actually gave me joy was watching movies, and I could escape, right? I could put all my bullshit aside for 2 hours and just be in the moment of this movie. And then once it was done, I'm like, all right, either I was refreshed or I got to contemplate on something, glean the message from that movie, and then move on with my life. So I wanted to be that escape for people. I wanted to be that break time. I wanted to be the Kit Kat, like by being an actor, right? Take a break, take a load off, fuck reality, and let's just kind of. So that's where acting came into play. But then I also am musical, but being Pacific Islander, a lot of us are musical. Being Polynesian, I mean, whether it's in our faith, whether it's just in the home, everybody plays the ukulele, or not me. I couldn't play an instrument. So then they were trying to find another talent for me, and apparently I could carry a tune. So that's what I did, where my brothers all played instruments. My dad played an instrument, and
Is that tune? Is that a tune?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
It looks like there's a tune that needs to be carried.
Right. Are you gonna sing? Oh my gosh. See, this is what happens when you're in an entertainment family, because apparently even the spawn of the entertainers want the attention.
No, 100%. And it's funny because they're like, everybody looks at like Bruno Mars now, right? He grew up in Hawaii and he was doing a little Elvis impersonator and everything like that. But like, it's good on a Wikipedia line of his biography, but this is what it is, realistically.
Really...
Like the Jets. I remember when the Jets hit big and I was in the Bay Area, all of the Polynesians like, it's us! So, like,
we made it! We all made it!
But this is like, they were aesthetically appeasing and of age and everything like that. But imagine the Jets as kids.
Oh, totally.
For Mama and Papa Jet, I want to go with.
Maybe. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Or Grandma and Grandpa Jet, or a whole community and a village of Jets.
Oh, Jets. Yes, absolutely. Not the Afghani kind, but
wow! Too soon? No.
Yeah, I think so.
Never too soon here on According to Woods.
Never forget. Good gosh. But yeah, so I mean, it's amazing that you were able to kind of shift, and for people that grew up here in mainland Western U.S., right? We're like, you grew up in Samoa, like, oh my gosh, that's paradise. Why would you want to escape that?
Oh my god, if I could, for every nickel I get for that question, I'd probably have 15 cents, but
shitload of nickels for sure.
Shitload. It was really small. So paradise has its downfalls, or more of its lacking, right, in something. And you don't appreciate what you have until you actually get out of it. So it's funny because I actually started thinking about that, where when I was in Samoa, I couldn't wait. Like my island was way too small for my ambition and my dreams. And I got exposed to Hollywood, right? Like in the movies, like just these videotapes that I rented that I wanted to be a part of. And I was like, there's a bigger world out there for me. And in my island, you can drive, it's 2 hours all the way around going 15 miles an hour. So imagine how small that is, you know? And you have this girl who's been now wanting to see the world, and I love to travel. And well, I didn't really know that at the time that I knew that I loved to travel. I just knew that I wanted to. And so the minute I could get out, I did, you know, I did. And I couldn't wait to just experience everything and anything. And so leaving my paradise is more of a thing to, I guess, in a sense, for me, I was like, I would make my paradise better if I was to learn a little bit more from the world and then take it back home. Now, fast forward, I'm still here in the States. I found that I go home every year, besides 2020 when the world had ended, you know, with the pandemic, or at least on a full stop. And I go home every year because I need to just slow down, because that was one of the things in Samoa. It was too slow for me when I was growing up. It wasn't big enough for all the things I wanted to do. And then when I leave, it's like I'm working so hard in this rat race to essentially go back to that simple life, to that island life. And it truly is paradise. So just the word itself, I didn't understand the definition or the meaning until I left home, and can truly look back and I can really identify and describe Samoa as paradise, because it really is.
That's amazing. That's an amazing story. But I mean, you could have unlocked that entire kind of moment in your history by doing what this person on Twitch says: to want to become famous by followers from viewers on bigfollows.com.
Oh,
So
okay. I
you
didn't I
could have
see it.
you could have just did that.
Could have, but then again, like we had only two channel TV, you know, for a long time. The internet, we're still one of the last people to get the internet or to get outside connection, you know. So to be famous, I guess, from the island would have taken me a whole lot longer. I mean, not that fame is what I'm going for, more of actually the resources and the options. We don't have a lot of options on the island to pursue a lot of things. Like we didn't, when I was going to school and when I was growing up, there wasn't any acting classes, there wasn't theater classes, you know. There was barely even choir, there was no vocal lessons, there was, and the only reason why there was choir was because of church. So the schools then implemented, because in Samoa, government and church, there's no separation, you know. Excuse me.
Wow. Yeah. No. No. 100%. And it's funny because like here in the U.S., it's almost a complete and utter quandary and paradox in the sense that like we're trying to do the separation of church and state and whatever, and have done so to minimal results for the
No,
last 20
true,
years.
because it still is a factor, right? I know that we're going off on a tangent, but to bring that up is, it's funny that you mentioned that, because still on our currency we have "In God We Trust." Still, when we're picking a president, their faith really does matter. And so when they say that, you know, we're supposed to take away or separate church and state, that's only in theory. It's not really reality.
No, no, but you got to remember, reality is, you know, this person of a presidential ilk, like, oh, no immigrants, but my grandparents in Germany when they migrated here, and his wife that are like, oh, like needed to get the husband as the president to get their family over, or you could just be like a particular president's son, and you know, stuff in hotel rooms and laptops and illicit substances. So
Oh,
it's cool. It's all cool. It's
it's
all
all gravy, baby. It
it's
really
all.
is.
Is that what was on the computer? Oh, I
Yeah,
don't know.
pretty much all
Okay,
gravy.
yeah. What was your first time outside of Samoa? Like, I mean,
um Well, I would travel to the other island of Samoa. So there was independent Samoa, right? Before they were independent, they were called Western Samoa. So now they're just called Samoa, whereas I'm from the American territory of American Samoa.
I'm sorry.
I think you could figure that out in the name.
Yeah, I'm sorry because
You're sorry. I'm
if it's
not. I'm not.
if it's anything like what we did with Puerto Rico, again, I'm sorry.
No, it isn't. So
Okay, 10
I wouldn't
points.
know what that's like, you know. We're unincorporated, so that gives us a lot more control over our government. So we have a governor and we have a lieutenant governor and we have very much an American type government, but we implement a lot of our Samoan traditions and a lot of our Samoan ways of leadership into it as well. So, and the U.S. doesn't have a lot. We get the funding, you know, ching ching on us, but but as far as like the way that our island is run, it's mainly just our people that run it, you know, with very very little say so from the US. So it's like the ultimate way to do it, except for in a sense I feel like we're spoiled now because we weren't in a sense taught to fish. You know, we were given the fish a lot of the time, so we're pretty complacent. I know this is live and I'm saying it there, but I feel like our people are very complacent. Our island has now been so spoiled that we don't really do for ourselves. We don't have anything that's exported out. Everything is imported in. I mean, we don't take advantage of the fact that our soil is so rich and that we can grow our own food and be self-sufficient. And that's the I guess the downfall of having something being given to you so much by such a successful country, i.e. the US, you know.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
and
some
success.
places some places didn't set the bar high. I think there's that island off of Madagascar that like you just step in and they eat you or something like that. Like that's still, you know,
Wow,
or
I
and then
didn't
there's
know.
one in India too. Like you just don't whatever. I think
You're just food,
yeah.
literally. What do you?
No, Rogan just talked about a guy like in 2018. He went like missionary, and again, if you haven't learned from the last like damn 1,000 years of missionaries in the Polynesian island or any island for that matter, I mean, good job, the 2018 guy, because like he wanted to spread the
Hey,
word.
let me just remind y'all that this is still going on. That there are
Oh,
still
it's
places that you are mainly just dinner or a snack.
yes. Oh, here's the thing. I mean, most people are like, you don't look Fijian. I'm like, that's funny. That's so great,
Have
right?
you
But
ever met a Fijian? You know,
yeah,
usually the people.
his name is John Singh. Oh, okay, right on 10 points. Yeah,
Well, I
might be.
mean, anybody that ever thinks about Samoans in the beginning was always about Troy Polamalu,
Yeah.
right? The Pittsburgh Steeler player, football player, yes, and all that luxurious hair, thanks
Hmm.
to Head and Shoulders.
That's right.
and then and then we had The Rock. I mean, there was the Jets too, but
Yeah.
they're Tongan, so you know
Yeah.
we all were trying to claim them as well. But really, the thought of a Polynesian, a lot of the time, especially Samoan, I feel was either you're a bouncer at a nightclub, right, or you're a football player, or they're always associated with just these, and mainly men. Like you think of Samoan, you think of the men. You never really quite think of the women. And so the image that they have of a Samoan is just these huge giants who are very intimidating looking, you know. But then you think about a woman and you're like, oh wait, what are y'all supposed to look like? And you don't actually quite fit the mold. You're supposed to be really big. And so which then brings me to one of the things when I first moved up to the States was when I told them that I was Samoan. I don't know if they were trying to say this as a compliment, but it was definitely a backhanded compliment. And they would say, "Oh, wow, you're Samoan." Well, first of all, if they said that I was saying it wrong, right?
Yes.
I was like, "I'm Samoan," and they said, "Wait, where? Somalia?" I'm like, "No, not quite." Like San Juan, I'm all, no, Samoan, and and then I said, "Oh, I think you might pronounce it Samoan," and I said, "Oh, you were saying it wrong. That's why I didn't know where you're from." Right. I was saying it wrong. I'm my bad. Please forgive me for my ignorance.
Of the
But
place that you left, that is your homeland and what have you.
yes, but
Yeah.
how crazy is that though? That just that simple elongation of a now, I mean of a vowel could then change the whole perception of where somebody is from, right? Like Samoan, just elongating that first part of the word, stressing that first part, and then just and or shortening it by Samoan, like can completely misidentify you. Nuts. But then the other part was then they would say, okay, well, are you sure you're Samoan? I'm like, yes. Like, but you're so pretty. And I'm like, the fuck does that mean?
Wow. Wow.
Yes. He's like, you're so pretty. I've never met a pretty Samoan girl before. I'm like, okay, like the level of rudeness
Yeah.
was just beyond me. And then the other part was, they're like, oh, so what gang are you in? I'm like, what do you mean, what gang am I in? I mean,
Hmm.
all these stereotypes and granted, like I was fresh off the boat, so I don't know a lot of these perceptions that the outside world has of us, you know. And so when I come here and I'm being like crash course into what a Samoan is, and I go, oh shit, I've been doing it all wrong this whole time. Should have been in a gang, should have been ugly, should have been like I'm saying the name wrong, I'm just all fucked up, you know.
Well, at least you're full, right? I got it backhanded. So, my dad's American black or African descendant of slaves, right? And then my mom is Fijian. Big people. You've seen me. I stand 5'9", right? And I sound like this. And I grew up in Inglewood, which again, right? So when I was telling people, hey, like I'm not Carlton like, right? They're like, oh, the thing that I got was like Oreo, right?
Oh yes.
Black on the outside, white on the inside. And I was like, no, there's like literally a whole whatever. And they even speak more like English and British English than I and
Mm-mm.
what have you. And they're like, oh, well, what island is that? Because we only know Samoan and Tongan, right? So I'm
Is
like,
it right? Like, oh,
right,
there's other islands besides
there's
those
other
ones,
islands.
and
Yeah,
Hawaii, right?
100%.
But everybody forgets that that's
For yeah,
a
no,
state
that's
or
just
an
that pretty
island.
much is Disneyland, like to most people. Sorry, Hawaiians. I'm just saying. But yeah, so I'd be like, no, like my mom's from Fiji, and they're like Fuji, like the apple. I'm like, no,
Fuji,
that's
like the
Japan.
apple.
Japan, wrong island, not
They're like,
Japanese.
wait,
I don't
Japan's
think.
an island? The fuck?
Yeah,
You're
I don't
blowing
know.
my mind right now, Woods.
And the thing about it is, I haven't 23andMe myself, so I might be Japanese, but yeah, for
This
the
is true.
yeah, for the context of the story, it wasn't, right? And then they're like, but you're black. And then the same thing, gangster. And also, and I kind of felt that
It's like,
too. It's
why
like,
are your pants where they're supposed to be? They should be
yes.
halfway down your thighs.
And
Like,
here I am, like,
and you
listening
can
to,
rap, right? You should
li-
rap.
I think Fred Durst can rap better than I, so, which is saying a lot,
Yes, yes,
but
that is
not
saying a
saying
lot.
anything. Yeah, so I just told everyone I was Canadian. What are you talking about? And when everybody would do Coronas, I'd be like, "Where's the Molsons?" And oh, I want Krispy Kreme. And I was like, "Oh, Tim Hortons." I don't know. I watched a lot of wrestling in the Hearts, Brett and Owen. Those were
So
my dudes.
you were identical. You're like, you
Yeah,
know
like what are
what?
you talking
Nobody
about, eh?
messes with Canadians. They just
They were, they're docile
they're the
folk.
nicest people, right?
Yeah.
At
Well, that's
least
what they say
every
about us
Canadian
as Polynesians and what have you.
gentle
And
giants, right? Yeah, apparently we're all giants, and
miss me. Genetics is a motherfucker.
it
That's what I'm
really
saying.
is. And
Yeah.
you know, going back to what you said that I am full Samoan, well, that's all I knew growing up. But then I did do a 23andMe, and dun dun dun, someone's got some splaining to do. You heard me? So this was the really cool part is 27%, 27.5 or some shit like that, 27.6% of me is European. Yes. See? And what was even more interesting is 13.3% of my makeup is Fijian.
Yes.
We're
fam.
cousins. We're
Yes.
definitely family. Fuck,
Yes.
it's about time. I knew it. I always had this strong connection with Fijians, and I should have realized it was in my blood.
Yeah. Instead of us, you're telling us tamale. That's what you
Yeah,
did.
exactly.
That's the difference. No, 100%.
So when
And
I'm trying to say talofa, I'm really saying bula. You know,
yeah.
like
But it's funny, both you and I, right? When the kava bowl gets passed around, we're like, mm-mm.
I'm all yes, fafte. I'm pouring out a little more than I'm supposed
Like,
to.
and just hopefully, like the fucking Tevoro didn't fucking catch it. You know the
No.
stories of the. Do you guys have any crazy kava stories?
I mean,
Like
yes.
the,
I mean, actually, or like when it starts,
like
like
connecting with
legends.
yes.
Not that I can recall, because I pretty much try to stay away from kava altogether, or ava in our island, our language. So, but no, what is there some crazy kava stories for you that you recall?
I mean, there was one that I heard of a cousin, right? And they said, in Fiji, when you go out with a girl, and you're dancing in the club, you always check her feet because she might be floating because she's a fucking poltergeist. So, that all being said, right? One of the cousins went to take a fair lass back to the house and hibbity dibbity, right? I think that's the technical
To the
term,
hut? To
right?
the hut?
Yes, and it was a house. It was a house, kind of
Okay.
Haitian built, but
Ooh, nice.
Yes, it didn't work out too well for Haiti, but yeah, well. But yeah, I took her back to the house, and his parents were there and whatever, and they heard blood curdling screams. They went into his room, and there was a talon, right? That was talons on his back, and as soon as they went up and down, then it disappeared, and it did it again. Right?
What?
Yes, absolutely.
So for those of you who are getting confused about what talons are, right? Claws, right?
Claws. And not the one that you get at the Tammy from the nail salon,
No,
beautiful nail. No. It's like
no, these are like for real weapons.
yeah, absolutely. But that's or the deal, and this was told to me firsthand account where they're drinking kava, whatever, and then the dude who's mixing the bowl is kind of throwing the rest in the back
of them,
and there's a window out back. So they're doing this for a couple hours, and then there's a knock at the door. And this is in Fiji. There's a knock at the door. They look at each other. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. Who the fuck? Whatever. And not even the damn, Jehovah's Witnesses roll at that time of hour. Right?
Right.
So then.
No, them's the witching hour. It's called that for a reason.
Yeah. Oh, no, 100%. So they knock on the door again. And then whatever on the other side of the door just said, fuck the door. The door goes down, off the hinges and what have you. And full on warrior in the fucking makeup, wild hair. It says in Fijian, what do you want? And they're like, what the fuck? It's like, what do you want? You've been feeding me all night. What do you want?
Oh, almost like a really messed up genie.
Yeah, it's a really fucked up genie. That's exactly what... God, imagine if Aladdin was done in the fucking Polynesian islands. Oh God, that's gonna be great.
So good. He's like, okay, instead of actually rubbing, a lantern or a lamp, right? You're gonna be throwing kava, feeding them kava the whole night, and like, how many do you think? Like, how many cups of this kava before it's pretty much considered 3 rubs on a lamp?
I don't know, but I think it's masterful what you did, because as a thespian, you wrote your own role. Yeah. Yes. 10 points for creating your own opportunity. Fuck,
yeah, for us in Samoa, it's called aitu, right? Ghosts or supernatural beings. And we have a lot of those, as far as we have a lot of things that we're not supposed to do, our superstitions in Samoa. So especially for females, like girls, there's a lot of things that we're not supposed to do, especially after dark. Like, we're not supposed to wear extensive makeup and really bright lipstick. We're not supposed to have our hair down. We're not supposed to look in a mirror after at midnight. It's like so many things to have to keep track of. And then I come to the States and all of that is blown out the water. Like, wait, I can wear my hair down. I can wear a really red lipstick, and yeah. So, and with us, our superstition is our aiku or our ghosts or our supernatural beings. They don't want anybody else to be more beautiful than they are,
Mm.
and so you got to always stay a little uglier than they are, or else they'll come and beat you up for it.
Dang, the Aito sexist fuckheads, aren't they? Jesus. Oh,
Yeah, they get
oh.
pretty wild out there, and the stories that we've heard too. And I mean, there was my cousin. When they asked, like, have you ever experienced anything like that, anything supernatural? Like, well, there was this one time at band camp. No, I'm just
Oh, okay.
there wasn't a flute involved, no, but there was
Okay.
definitely a lot of no. So my cousins, they lived in a mountain. Like their house was on a mountain, and I swear we all swore like it was haunted. So they had. I experienced this one thing which really freaked me out was with a doll. And my cousin, so yeah, so crazy. So my cousin, and mind you, dolls in Samoa, they're not like the dolls here. You don't have like the really. It's almost like those really creepy porcelain dolls, right? Only not porcelain. So those are the kind of dolls that we had readily available back home on the island for toys or presents or whatnot. So this doll just had the brown eyes. But then it was getting close to midnight, and me and my cousin were going into their room where all the toys were, and this fucking doll just like sits up. Not, I'm like freaking out just even talking about this. So the doll just sits up and it's like looking at us, and the eyes change color in front of us. My cousin screams. I'm in shock. I have no voice. And we fucking run out of the room, right? And I mean, we're probably 6 feet away, 8 feet at most away from this doll. And we run out, tell my aunt and uncle, and they're just like, you guys aren't supposed to be up anyway. This is like the witching hour or whatnot. So y'all should be going to sleep. And I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to go to sleep with a crazy ass doll in the room that we're sleeping in? So, I mean, that's my ghost experience. And when we went back into the room, the doll had laid back down or in the position that it was originally. But then when we looked at the eyes had changed color again to a different color. So it changed color to blue, and then it changed color to green. And so it was like, the fuck? And then when the daylight came finally, because I was under the covers and finally fell asleep, probably from pure terror, woke up and the doll's eyes had gone back to brown. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess it was a friendly doll, maybe. It wasn't Annabelle like the movies. And my head was still intact.
Wow. That's, yeah. I'm glad you survived that bloody outing with that. Because that's
Yeah.
not,
And
that could
that's
have
why
not
I
been good.
still can't watch like anything with toys. Chucky fucked me up for a while. I love scary movies, but especially ones with demonic toys, I can't seem to, because I think I've really experienced that, minus the super mean machete holding dolls.
Yeah, so no, you're talking to a guy that, I mean, fuck, and I mean, I love pro wrestling, still love pro wrestling, but not as much anymore. But yeah, still love pro wrestling. But every time the Undertaker would go, I'd mysteriously go to the fucking bathroom because I was scared shitless and whatever. I am not entirely convinced, as a 36-year-old father and husband and grandfather, that fuck, if I don't turn off all the lights in my house, I hear the gong, the shrill of Paul Bear.
I'm so sorry. I can't seem to hear you.
Oh,
Like,
you can't hear me?
hello, hello.
Can you hear me? No? No? Oh.
Hold on, hold on.
Wait, is it better?
You can
No?
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I
Yeah,
can't hear you.
start
Okay,
start
hold
talking.
on.
I'm gonna jump out.
It's crazy. You sound so much better right now. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm here. She left. Oh no. Oh man, it was so good. it was so good for so long, and then the old kind of ish presented itself. Technical issues, motherfuck. Um, oh, Mary says, "Oh Lord, that's why I didn't love dolls. I can't watch those movies either." No, 100%, sweetie. Those dolls are fucked up. Also, the internet and whatever the fuck reception issues that we're having also fucked up. That's what I say. Yeah, fuck those internet charter. If you're listening to me, I know you are. Man, get your shit together. That's what I'm saying. Or woman, or non-conforming, gender-neutral entity that you are. Like, just get it together. Your service, get it together. I'm just saying.
Am I getting it together? Okay,
You
there,
get
I
it.
can hear you.
You're so together. You're so much
Hi,
more together.
Well, no, I mean, I barely brushed my teeth because I thought, oh, maybe he could smell my breath through the screen. So, just trying to
Yes,
get ready to look
Stream
even remotely presentable.
StreamYard does have smell-o-vision, so
Okay, I knew
you're
it.
welcome. Is
I'm
that
so
Palasami?
glad. Yeah,
It's
it's
Palasami. Yeah.
Wahoo. It's
Okay.
Wahoo, actually.
Right on. 10 points. 10 points.
Spam with a little hint of spam.
I'm not one for the spam.
Turned you on right there, huh? I knew it.
Jesus Christ. Um,
What are you talking about? That's like
I
just
am not
grade
that.
A
I'm not
steak,
that
boy.
Polynesian. My Owen, my kid, loves it. I'm dry heaving as soon as I can smell it. So bad. So bad.
Oh, well, you're so lucky that I brushed my teeth this morning then.
10 points.
Oh my
Hell
God. And
yes.
I just want to say, this is like an extension of my potty break. That's why I
Yeah.
didn't love dolls. Oh, Mary, totally. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they freak me out. So
Yeah.
she must have an experience as well.
Yeah. And spam
Thank
is.
you. See, spam is bomb.
I don't know who you guys are. Anyway, I mean, it's like, and people that are like of a particular religious like affiliation or whatever, like, oh, you don't, wear the same cloth, you don't, whatever. Spam on the fucking label it says it's a cat. Oh no, my that's just my head. It's not a cat. It's a pig. It's chicken and some other fucking shit. It's all weird, all
But it's
smushed together.
more of their leftovers, it's like the intestines of these things, not even like the actual meaty part of it. It's all the
You made it
waste part.
so much more appealing.
Doesn't it sound delicious?
In the words of Borat, not.
Not.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, Borat is definitely not a good reference for that because I swear that motherfucker eat everything. I mean, I did see him get teabagged, so I'm sure spam is not that far off.
Borat is not the one that you should be worried about. It's the brother Bilo.
Oh, okay. I'll
Yeah.
have to check him out.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Oh, no.
Especially
No,
if
don't do
you're
it.
not their sister. If you're their sister, especially because Bilo wanted it, and never mind. That's a
no,
whole
that's
story. That's a whole different
You're gonna have
story.
to catch me up on that. But
I'm
yeah,
gonna
no.
get
So
canceled.
join the club. Join the club.
But speaking of
We're all
things that-
getting canceled.
Yeah, speaking of things that aren't canceled, obviously, your show on Island Block Radio isn't canceled. You just did one, literally, what? Isn't it uploaded like right now? Within the last 20 hours?
Yeah. There should be one actually coming up here in the next date. Like once it turns Wednesday, it'll be hump day. Is usually when I come out with a new episode. Everyone Loves Lulu, but last week I had the wonderful Donnie Faliliu, so you got to check it out. I have, I think tomorrow will be my 20th episode, 21st episode. I know, nothing compared to your 1,000 episodes that you have out, Mr. Woods.
It's half. It's like 468 in a year.
Yeah. Pretty much 1,000 to me. I mean, as you can see, I'm struggling to even have an uninterrupted hour for an interview. This is why I made it a point when I was talking to my team for Everyone Loves Lulu and Island Block Network. I cannot do shit at home. So this whole work from home thing, I can't do it. I got 2 little people who obviously need more attention than I do. And then I can't really get to focus on my guest or doing anything remotely productive with two little people because they take up the majority of my time.
Vertically challenged. We don't use the little people
Oh
anymore.
yeah, my bad, my bad. In my house, they're little people. Don't let me get started on what their real nicknames are, but you know, I might be sure.
Well, if it makes you feel better, my mom, who loved me 100%, I was her prince, but she also affectionately called me bloody shit. So, which might
Yeah.
have described the childbirthing process of this head here. So,
Oh my gosh. Yes, childbirth. That just gave me PTSD. Thanks for just
sorry. You brought up spam and the fucking weird dolls of Samoa. There
oh
you go.
Samoa.
There you go.
It's like you have to say it where you start with like this SA, right? Like sa, and then there's like a immediate pause, and then you continue the word more,
Yeah.
and then you pronounced it right, essentially.
Hopefully. No, there's no guarantees. I pronounce shit bad all the time. But also, again, you were talking about, oh, like, you're pretty, as, you know, some would say for
I
an
know.
islander,
Apparently,
right?
it's I'm all rare, you know, pretty islander. What the hell,
I get,
Samoan to be exact.
I get the, you speak so well.
Oh yes, yes. There's that too. You have no accent. There's no dialect, and I'm like, well, you know. I read too. It's crazy. You should see. I
Yeah.
mean, they it blows their mind when I say I can write English. I'm like, oh my goodness, you're a genius.
I'm just saying, yeah, man. It's weird because it's just like, I'm like, what were they? What was the? Was it Don Ho? Like everybody's first here in the States, like first visions of an islander, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then his daughter Hoku eons later, right? I think
Yeah,
was that
probably
it?
John Ho, but I also think though the first at least the images that come to mind for me, our representation was the Elvis movies. You
Yeah,
know, South Pacific, and because he loved the island so much, he actually did films there in Hawaii, and there was actually quite a few Samoans in the movies. But that's I think the image that they have of islanders, you know. But then of course the actors that are playing them the majority of the time or the leads are white, tanned. They tan them, but they're white, you know.
oh, it's just not. I mean, it's just not the you know, the Islanders that get that got depicted that way of a certain time. I mean, Casablanca, right?
Oh, totally,
In the middle of
totally.
Africa, the only dude who is of color that could be even remotely African is a dude playing the piano from Detroit.
My favorite, my favorite. Oh man. I mean, it must have really messed with all Americans, especially white people, when islanders actually invaded their shores, right? You know, it's like, they're really from islands? Like, wow. And we're not so hideous and not cannibalistic, at least not anymore.
I don't know.
I know. I
Sometimes.
think I still have some canines there. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Part
yeah.
vampire,
Yeah.
part
Oh yeah,
cannibal.
people are like, oh, like we live forever. It's like, no, tell that to the missionaries. We bit them, and they got boiled in the
Mm-mm.
pot. They got
Yes,
made into curry.
yes.
Like that's
And
not the.
nobody, and I bet you when they boiled them, it's just like, oh, this is like spam. Terrible.
I
Not
think
that
that's where
quality
spam.
meat.
I think that's where spam comes from. Might still be made.
But I want to go back to kind of like when I actually left the island. One of the biggest resources and blessings that I had to actually be able to travel the world was with my sport of judo.
Woohoo!
Yes, I was a judo player, as we call it, judo player, because I did the sport, not the actual, you know, hand-to-hand combat life. Uh, and I got to travel the world, actually live all over the world because of judo. And I was really fortunate to be in the 2008 Olympics and represent my country. Yes, yes. And I was the flag bearer. It was pretty cool. Like one of the best experiences. And apparently, from what I heard from the other Olympians who had been to multiple Olympics prior to the 2008 Beijing Olympics, is that the Beijing Olympics was one of the best that they had experienced. Like China went above and beyond to make the Olympics epic, or at least for that year.
Which, I mean, the 2000 Olympics in terms of judo.
2008.
Right. What did I say? I'm bad with
2000.
numbers. Oh, I'm bad with numbers, good with words, kind of.
It's only 8 years difference. I mean, I could see how that could be a mistake.
Yeah. But, I mean, was there, I mean, Olympic judo around that time? What was, who was doing judo around that time in the Olympics?
Ronda Rousey.
Oh, yeah.
You
That
know,
was,
just that little character, Ronda Rousey.
yeah.
She had won the bronze that year for her judo match. Prior though, it was the world champs, and I think she actually either got silver or yeah, I think she got silver or gold. She was touted to win the gold um, in Beijing, but she still came out with a medal, which is freaking incredible, especially for U.S. judo, because the U.S. is still not so established with judo as much as the rest of the world.
Yeah, I know. It's like people get dumped on their head and they're like, I don't want to do this.
I know. I don't know why though. I mean, we get beat up every day. Oh, actually, like physically, yeah. That emotionally, a bit. Apparently, we can handle more. But if you're actually getting beat up and you're fucked up emotionally, well, I can see why a lot of people might quit. The best part though about judo for me when I first started, so judo came to Samoa when I was 12 or turning 12, and my brother was 10, turning 11. And me and my brother were only a year apart, and we're the best of friends, worst of enemies. Shout out to my brother Vaimalu, who now is back home in Samoa doing his thing, trying to make us more independent and self-sufficient as a country. So shout out to him. But he was actually the reason why I even started judo, because when judo came to Samoa and us being really close and love hate each other all the time, he went and tried it first. He came home after the first session of judo, right? And he got home and he was so excited. He said, Lulu, we have to try, you have to join judo. And I was like, why? He said, we can fight and not get in trouble. That's all he had to say. Next day, I was in judo, and I was in judo since I was 12 till 2010.
Wow,
I know.
that's incredible, and your poor parents, man, because obviously, you know, sibling squabbles happen and everything, and then like the next day, you guys are Uranagi and Uchimai the shit out of each other.
Oh, totally. You know,
That's
it's bad enough when you're just grabbing whatever you have, and now you actually train, and now you're skilled, right? And yeah, the level of fight was just on a whole nother level at this point.
you guys are judo assassins.
Yeah, pretty much, mainly the ass part, but
It's
and
like
definitely
Samoan.
more. Right? And the last part of that too, lots of sins
Yeah, there
need
you go.
to need
That's
to
it.
atone for. But
No,
oh my gosh, so I hate to just
yeah, no.
disconnect and
So,
connect and
where
disconnect
can
and
people
not fucking know
find?
how to do
Yeah,
technology.
how can people find what you're doing on the interwebs and all that jazz? And Island Block Radio.
Okay, well, islandblocknetwork.com, just check it out, and we have all of Everyone Loves Lulu episodes on there, and you can stalk me personally at Myz Lulu. Yes, I do accept stalkers daily. M is in Mary. Shout out to Mary. YZLULU at that. So it's at Myz Lulu for everything.
Hell
So check
yes.
me out.
No, check her out. Again, good sister. It was so good to have you on. Thank you guys for watching. And if you haven't subscribed to Island Block Radio and Myz Lulu on Everyone Loves Lulu. Go ahead and do that. And while you're subscribing to stuff, go ahead and subscribe here at According to
Yes,
Woods
please.
on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I mean, Lulu, you're subscribed, aren't you?
Totally. I'm on all of it for you. I love anything according to Woods.
I love everyone loves Lulu. I'm one of the everyone. Is what I'm saying.
No way. I can't wait to have you on Everyone Loves Lulu. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that, because that's definitely happening. I'm making him come out of his bubble and from behind the desk and
Yes.
out of his seat. So he's going to have to be traveling down to my area in the hood.
All right, let's do that. But if you don't believe me, you don't believe Miss Lulu, and I don't know why you wouldn't, well, here's pro wrestler Zeta Zhang to help convince you.
Hey, this is Zeta Zhang. Make sure you subscribe to According